Hello and welcome to State Matters. I'm your host, Matt Muratore. On today's program, we'll be discussing energy needs and for those Plymouth residents, the recent utility program implemented in the town of Plymouth that will save money for all users. Joining me for that discussion is the planning technician and energy officer for the town of Plymouth, Patrick Farah. Patrick, thanks for joining me today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So we always start our show looking to know who our guests are. So people who don't know you, let's talk about a little bit about your background and who you are.
All right. Well, first, my name is Patrick Farah, with
With
one
one
R.
R, yes, I saw that.
So I am, my title at work is, I work for the town of Plymouth, obviously, is planning technician and energy officer. I'm also one of the part-time conservation field agents.
Oh,
So I do everything from working on some of the older subdivisions, subdivision control work. We actually have subdivisions that are over 10 years old that have been started and never finished, and I kind of help them along.
So that's on your conservation field agent job?
That's under my planning technician.
Oh, you plan to, okay, so talk a
Yes.
little bit about the subdivisions and how that works then. What do you mean by not completed?
A developer will go ahead and start a project, maybe run out of money, maybe the market turns. So back in 2007, 2008, a lot of projects went on hold because the economy went south. Now the economy's back up and running again, and some of these projects that were kind of idle are ramping up. So I'm working on a project that's over 25 years old. I won't mention the name.
Can you mention the section of town it's in?
It's in South Plymouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are most of them in South Plymouth? That's why I was asking.
No,
like
they're all over.
They are, okay. It seemed like a lot of
scattered.
the building in the last decade or so has been in South Plymouth, but.
Yeah, so they're all over. So what happens is I stay in touch with the developer. I make sure that the infrastructure is in place. So part of the planning board and the planning department's charge.
And you fall under the planning department, correct?
I fall under the planning department,
okay,
yes.
okay, all right.
Same with conservation and the energy
okay.
officer status. So the way it works is you have to have infrastructure put in place, roads, drainage, utilities, make sure there's a plot plan. It goes before the planning board for approval. And the town planner, I work closely with the town planner on some of these older projects. Robin Carver, I think you've met.
Yep. Right.
And she's kind of, obviously as a town planner, she takes over all the new projects, and I help her as needed. So the way it works is we're not really concerned about the actual houses being built, but we want to make sure that the roads are in place, drainage is in place, all the legal documentation, homeowners association, if there's going to be one, they have to at least record that documentation. Make sure that any other types of infrastructure that needs to be in place before they receive lot releases get done.
So are these subdivisions that have no houses on them?
These are subdivisions that some of the older ones that I'm working on, many of them are completely or almost completely built. They just have a couple homes left. They just need a little bit more paving done or things like that. Or some, like there's one subdivision that I'm working on. I need one document that needs to be recorded. And as soon as I have proof of that, I'll go to before the planning board for final release.
And in a lot of these cases, do the roads get a part of that? Because I know there's always a lot of controversy about some of these new projects, if they're 25 years old. Do the roads get approved as part of that as well, or is that something totally separate?
You mean accepted?
Accepted by the town,
So the policy in this town is to have the roads stay private. Then the residents can petition to have that road go through the town meeting process to be accepted as public.
Okay. So to talk about your field agent, what'd you call it? Your
conservation field agent.
What's your role in that?
So
what is that?
Richard Vaca is the conservation planner,
Yep.
and he's the head guru, and I work with him. I go on violations, enforcement orders, actions. If someone cut down a bunch of trees near a wetland, or did something that they shouldn't be doing. Many times I go out with the agent as backup, as a second pair of eyes. And then I also perform what's called certificates of compliance. Someone is finishing or has a job, let's say upgrading a septic system, or I don't know, an addition to a home, but it's near the wetlands, it's within their jurisdiction. They have to file with them. They complete the work, and let's say they want to sell the house, or they finish the project and they just want the order of conditions signed off. I'll go out there and make sure that it's all done.
Wow. Do you have a lot of those?
Yeah, we have quite a bit. We have, what, 365 ponds in Plymouth?
Yeah. How do you find out about these? Is it, people ratting out other neighbors? Is that how you find out most about these?
So,
Must be a
yeah,
fun
we
job.
don't need a lot of enforcement officers because the closer one lives to the pond, the more eyes are on each property.
I bet. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Interesting. So let's get back to you. Let's get back to your background. So you live in Plymouth. What is your back? What did you do before you came to the town? You're actually, how long have you been an employee for the town?
I've been an employee for just over 11 years.
Okay, and you've been in this role for 3 years, 4 years?
As energy officer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess since my predecessor, Patrick O'Brien, left.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But,
So what's your background before you came here?
so, let's see. I lived in Florida for 20 years.
Oh, really?
And I owned a...
What part of Florida?
Boca Raton.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Most people go to retire there.
Right. And yeah, you couldn't get me to go back.
Yeah.
So I owned a telecommunications company.
Oh.
And we did everything from data connection infrastructure to data centers. And I got to go around the world. I've been around the world 3 times. I've seen many cultures, many places.
It was your own company?
And it was my own company.
Wow, wow.
And then my wife became a nurse, took a transfer, and I was tired of chasing after money.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I wanted to start a new career. So I went back to school for environmental.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to 4 Cs, and,
nice.
and then I transferred over to Lesley University.
Okay, great. And what'd you get your degree in?
Environmental technology.
Nice, nice. And is your wife working as a nurse now?
Oh, she's a director now.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
oh yeah.
Making a lot more than I do.
at a health
She is over at South Shore Medical.
Oh, okay,
So,
great. Oh,
yeah, and they just
sure.
merged with South Shore Hospital.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my daughter works there per diem.
Oh, great.
Yeah, she's a nurse there too. It's great organization. Yeah, nice. Do you have any kids?
No.
Yeah. That's good.
One 14-year-old husky.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. So, so what is your? Let's talk about your job as energy officer, or your job in general. What's your day-to-day job look like?
Wow, answering emails, phone calls. People come to the counter. We all kind of work together between conservation, zoning board of appeals, and planning.
Are you in the office a lot?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have a fair amount of field work to do. We started, I guess about a year ago, I started a street light repair program where a resident can call in or email anywhere from the DPW to Town Hall and say, they're requesting either street lights to be repaired or installed. And I'll go out and I'll work with DPW and the utility Eversource directly on that.
Really?
So that's a neat project, and I get several requests a month.
Okay. And how do people? They just email you directly?
They can
Or they
email me
call?
directly or DPW. And DPW, I created a form, and what will happen is DPW will fill out the form, the top part, send it to me, and then I'll facilitate the rest.
And you check to see if the streetlights actually belong to the town.
I'll first
or not,
make
'cause
sure
some-
that the roads are public,
yeah,
not
right,
private,
yeah.
and I'll make sure that it's under the Eversource list,
Yeah. Oh wow.
and then go from there.
So it's a matter of changing, is it like changing the light bulbs on them, or?
Sometimes it's a photocell, sometimes
Yeah.
a ballast, sometimes the electric line is out.
Yeah.
Another project I've been working on for years, in fact, we're finishing up this week, is the decorative lights downtown. all those ornamental lights.
Oh, yes.
I've retrofitted all of them to LED, the vast majority of them actually. Along Town Brook and Brewster Gardens is all that remaining. I have a small budget, so I can only do so much. But what happens is I contact the utility Eversource, and through the Mass Save program, thank you so much, State, they give us money that'll cover installation costs, and I just pay for the material.
That Mass Save program is wonderful, not just for municipalities, but also for individuals as well.
Yeah, in fact, let's see, what do I have here? So they're called Lumcas, these fixtures. And we've put in, as of the end of last week, 176 total.
All downtown? All
downtown. Wow. Most of them are doubles, but we have a few singles. So far we put 176 fixtures and about 75 megawatts a year in savings. Comes out to about $13,000 a year.
In savings?
Yeah. So
and they look nice?
They look great. So there's about a 7.5-year payback.
Okay.
We probably have about 96,000 into it. So.
Wow. Let's talk about the Community Choice Power Program. Sure. I call it the utility program, which is the real reason we want you to come here, because my office has received a number of calls from people about this program, and just really in some cases just looking for advice. What do you think we should do? And I personally have been telling people what I'm doing is I'm just keeping into it, because I don't know how you can get the rate any lower. I thought it was an ingenious idea, but talk about how it came about and what it is.
So the Energy Committee kind of started this whole program, and they've been looking at this for at least 6 years.
How many people on the Energy Committee?
9.
9, okay.
So they're 9 members.
And they appointed all by the selectmen? Or the planning board as
well? No, through the board of selectmen. Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I think it's a planning board as well.
I think it's
and
both.
The selectmen, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And about 6-7 years ago, there was discussion about this, because this is when it was starting to get popular. And they looked at it. I, as support staff, helped them do background information, take a look and see if this was a viable thing. As of right now, there are over 124, 25 communities in Massachusetts that are on this program.
Oh, really? Because I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, so it's not like Plymouth is, storming the way.
Yeah.
And there's other states that are doing this also. And so basically, what this program is, to make it very simple, Plymouth has Eversource as their utility, and every 6 months.
So the town of Plymouth does.
The town of Plymouth has
the
utility is Eversource.
Okay.
And the way it works is that Eversource goes shopping like every 6 months, in the late spring and late fall. Comes out with pricing, new pricing every January and July.
Now, why is that? What is it?
Good question. I don't know why they do it every 6 months.
Do all utility companies do that?
Some are, I think this is for residents and small businesses. For large businesses, I think they go out every 3 months.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know about other utilities, what they do, but Eversource, who, because they're in this town, I'm concentrating on them. So the way it works is they go shopping for a third party. They are not an energy services provider. They are an energy delivery provider.
Okay.
They own the wires, the substations, and all that.
Do they own the poles too?
They own the poles,
okay.
unless we buy them.
Okay. Why would the town?
That's a whole other story.
Yeah, I was going to say, why would the town want to buy them?
If the town, there are several towns in Massachusetts who have become what's called munis, or municipal electric companies. They own all the infrastructure. And that was the original reason back in 1996 or so, when the Energy Committee was first created, was they wanted to see if Plymouth was a good candidate to become a muni.
Their own electric?
You own your own electric company, you own all the infrastructure, which I guess they figured out it was cost prohibitive.
Yeah, okay. So
anyway, Eversource goes shopping. They don't really care what the price is. I don't want to say they don't care, but it's not their business. they pass along whatever the costs are to the ratepayers. You still live in Plymouth, I live in Plymouth. So there you go. Whatever the price is, the price is. Well, with municipal aggregation or community choice electric program or power program, the way it works is that the town goes through a very long public process. All right? And I just want to make sure that everyone understands that this was not something that just happened like this. It's been about 2 years that the town was actually working toward this. We went through several public hearings before the Board of Selectmen. It went to town meeting. There was actually, it was like, the vote was like 117 to 1 in favor of it.
Okay.
So there is real value.
So it had to be approved by selectmen and
It
town
had
meeting.
to be approved, right, through the town process.
Why would that be? Because is there an
Well,
upfront cost or something? from
No,
the town?
there's no upfront cost, but
Okay.
there is a change in the way that
Okay.
residents are
Okay.
affected
Okay.
by this program.
Was there an application that you had to file with Eversource
Oh, yeah.
or something?
After it went to town meeting, we went through a long process on interviewing and hiring a consultant. So Colonial Power Group, it was the company that Plymouth chose. And just to let you know, this was initiated by the old Colony Planning Council.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, so there was 17 communities, and I think 9 of them actually went forward on them.
Okay.
So they facilitated and arranged for the interviews for these different companies and so on. And Plymouth chose, I was on the interview committee, and one of the big things that I wanted to make sure was that if a resident didn't want to be on the program, they could opt out. Okay? No problem. I think all programs allow that. However, let's say 6 months later, when Eversource's rates come up and they're much lower than this rate that you're with a third party, and I'll get to that in a minute, residents can opt back in. So you can opt out, you can opt in.
Every 6 months?
No,
Anytime.
anytime you want
okay.
with this program.
Okay.
And that's what makes it great, with no penalties, no fines, nothing. So if, let's say in January, now most of the time, the rates go up in the winter and drop in the summer. But we don't know with energy closing, the Plymouth plant, the nuclear power plant, we don't know what's going to happen. So the futures markets are already starting to kind of gauge that. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that in January, the rates go down to, go down a few cents per kilowatt hour. The residents of Plymouth can go ahead and go online, and I could provide the audience with a website or a phone number to opt out of the program and go on what's called the basic rate. That's Eversource's basic rate.
It wouldn't be the town rate?
No. Because automatically, the way this program works is all residents, if you're on basic rate, basic service, you automatically are enrolled in this new program.
Okay, all right, okay, got it.
Let's say in January, the rates, and the rate is at 10.333 cents per kilowatt hour.
Okay, I was going to ask you that. So it's 10.33?
333
okay.
cents per kilowatt hour. The Eversource rate right now is at 10.759 cents.
Okay, so it's much lower than that.
So there's 0.4 of a penny. Doesn't sound like a lot.
It adds up, though.
But it adds up. And this is something that I try to instill with all the residents that call my office. If you have a small electric bill, $50, $60, $100, you're not going to save a lot per month, $1 or $2.
Okay.
But if you have a large bill, and believe it or not, I've talked to residents who have $500, $600 a month electric bills. Boy, am I glad I'm not in those homes. However, and I'm not going to ask what you have, but
it's close to that.
so you're going to see people who have those type of bills are going to see a $20 or $30 difference in their electric bill on the supply side only. Every electric bill, when you look at it, you'll see a supply side supply charges and delivery charges. Delivery charges is where Eversource makes their money.
Okay.
Okay, so that's transmission, that's for the poles, for the substations, for the crews, and so on, as well as the street lights, the regular Cobra head street lights outside of the ornamentals that the town owns. Where was I?
So you were talking about the costs.
Oh, so right. Collectively, thank you. So collectively, the town as a community is going to save well over $1 million, between $1.1 to $2 million a year. Now,
really?
the questions I get in the office is, well, where does that money go? Well, the money stays in your pocket. It can go into your gas tank if you're going to go, if you're going to save $20, $30, $40 a month, or $2 a month.
So we as consumers would say that as citizens.
Correct. It doesn't go, and I want to make it very clear to the audience and to you that the town of Plymouth, the municipality, does not make a dime on this.
Okay.
Okay.
But the town does save.
But the community.
Oh, that $1 million for the community.
As a community, saves that type of money. That's just money that doesn't.
What does
leave
the town end up saving on it, or
nothing.
Is there a savings?
There
nothing
is,
at all.
No, nothing, because
Okay.
the town has already done a similar type of program.
All right.
It's another state, sanctioned program where you can do this, and we've done it. The town has done it for the last few years.
Is the town and this program, are the rates the same, or are they different?
No, they're a
different.
little bit different.
Yeah, okay.
A couple of years ago, the rates were a little lower. The rates have they shot up, and then they stabilized, went down a little bit, and it's kind of interesting where Colonial Power Group, who went shopping for us, they came back a few weeks after we approved their plan and the state approved their plan. Just to let you know, after town meeting, it did go through the Department of Public Utilities, the TPU, and it sat there for 10 months.
Now, why did it have to go to? Why did they have to approve it?
They want to review the plan that was drafted by our consultant, Colonial Power, to make sure that the town residents were not getting
shafted at all.
Shafted.
Okay.
Thank you. So this is a real program. It's, I think, Chapter 164, Section 134 of the MGL laws that authorizes towns to do this. So
the state had to approve it and make sure it was okay.
Right, to make we were on
I'm
the
not
up
even
and
going to
up.
ask you why it took 10 months.
But well, it was good because they had questions.
Okay.
They went back to the consultant. The consultant responded, and then there is that review period each time.
Okay.
So, and that's why it took the amount of time it did.
Okay.
So.
Wow. So what is again, I think I told you off here that my office has been getting calls from people, not a lot, but some people just want to know about it, want to understand a little bit. Asking me what am I going to do about it?
Right.
And I said I'm going to, when I get the letter, I'm just not going to do anything. I want to do it.
Right.
Why not? But there are some people that are a little skeptical about it. They don't.
Right.
They want to opt out. Why would people want to opt out?
Because, and it's unfortunate, but there are a lot of other companies that are doing the same type of thing, and they will
That's a good
come.
point. Yeah.
And I get mailings probably every other week. I've had people come to my house every other month or so, and they'll offer a great what's called an introductory rate. Which will be, let's say, 20% less than what Eversource is. And then after 2-3 months, where's that rate? It goes back up.
I was going to ask you that. So what if people have, and I think one of the bigger one is, I think it's Viridian. So what if people have that? Can they still do this program as well?
So here's the thing. I gave a talk at one of the local communities, Plymouth Mobile Estates, a couple weeks ago. And some of the residents brought in their electric bills. And it's a crime, an absolute travesty on some of the rates that these people are paying, double or close to double than what our rates are now through the simple service of Eversource at 10.759. So here's where some of these companies get you. is they will, let's say you sign up for, let's say, a 2 or 3 year contract. If you want to get out of the contract, you have to pay a penalty. So what I had suggested to these residents, and I'm suggesting it to all residents, take a look at your contract, see what the penalty is. Some of them are $50, some are $150, and anywhere in between.
But don't you have to re-sign up for those like every year or something?
Well, yeah, but if you have a 2-year, if you have a
Got
2-year
it.
contract or a
Okay,
3-year
got it,
contract
got
with
it.
them, then you're stuck. So what I urge residents to do is to kind of calculate, or go to someone, go to a financial advisor, or your accountant or somebody that's good with numbers, and calculate how much the savings would be if you got out of the contract and still had to pay that fine. Some people, I talked to several residents where their contract was running out in, let's say, the next 4 or 6 months. It wasn't worth it because they had such a low bill. It wasn't worth getting out. They'd be paying more. So I said, let it lapse, and then take a look at what Eversource's rate is from the winter in January. And if it's higher than it is now, you can opt in to this program at any time.
So people who are in those type of programs, like Viridian, cannot be part of the town program.
Anyone who is in has a third-party contract now did not receive any documentation, didn't receive a letter, and they are not automatically enrolled.
All right, so if they get out of the other, then they can call the town. What is the website?
Let me give that to you.
And your number to call is the town hall number, which is 747-1620.
And my extension is 204.
In section 204, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So www. So the website is www.colonialpowergroup, one word, .com
Okay.
/Plymouth.
Okay.
And then there is an 800 number, which is 866-485-5858.
Okay. Wow.
And there, if there's any other questions, they can reach out to
Real
that.
quickly before we leave, about how many people are on it now, do you know?
Very good. I just received this email. So the original list, the original list of residents that the letter went out, that qualified for this, was 24,183.
Okay.
Right now, there's 22,408. So there was actually a 4.7% opt out.
Yeah. Wow.
Which isn't terrible.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
So
well, I know we have to end the show, but thank you so much for doing this program and for all you do for the town of Plymouth.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. I want to thank you all for watching today and hope you have found this informative. If you have further questions on the Utility Savings Program in Plymouth, please reach out to Patrick at 508-747-1620, extension 204. Thank you to all the staff and volunteers for the excellent work they do at PAC TV. Until next time, we'll see you on State Matters.